And we got the band in here, and we are live. How you guys doing?
We're
pretty decent.
We're doing fine.
Nice. Yeah, this is TBD for anybody that's like just tuning in here on KCSB FM 91.9, Santa Barbara, and netradio.com out of Tijuana. Do you guys want to go ahead and like introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Eric. I play the drums.
And I am Sarav, and I play the guitar and run around.
Cool. Can you guys hear yourselves in your headphones, by the way, and stuff?
I cannot.
You cannot hear your headphones? Okay, how about you guys check that?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
That's more like it. Yeah.
Is that okay?
That's great.
Okay, cool. So how have you guys been doing? How was your drive up here? That was kind of a mob for you guys being out from like LA and stuff, huh?
It was cool. Yeah, I've never. Well, when we played our first show, the singer from Eye Candy came up to me and he was like, have you ever been to Ventura County? And I was like, no. And now we're here, I guess.
Oh, you guys are here.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. The last time that I was in this part of the world was in
you say that like it's so far, like it's some like foreign country or something.
Yeah, no, I mean it is still a part of the world.
It is, yeah, for sure, yeah.
It could just be like 90 miles away. But,
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Like, yeah, but no, last time I was here, it was like 5 years ago or something. I was on a date.
Nice.
Yeah, brought someone all the way out here.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah. Well, last time I was in like Isla Vista though was in like 2015, and we were doing something similar, but we were just throwing like a little rave on the beach with a lot of cocaine. And,
oh hell yeah!
Nice.
But
sounds like some Ivy stuff.
Yeah. But but no, I mean today was okay. I expected it to be the way that it was because it's the day that shall not be named tomorrow. Yeah. And there's a lot of traffic surrounding that, but I mean, I had fun. I listened to podcasts, do my thing.
Yeah, that's what's up. You're listening to Last Podcast on the left, right?
Yes, baby.
What was this one about again?
This one was about the crime duo Leopold and Loeb, full names Richard Loeb and Nathan Leopold, and they committed a crime against a child that is not cool. Yeah, and I will also say I listened to TFL, Thinking Fellers Union Local 282, which is a great band from where I'm from.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which was also a good part of the drive.
Hell yeah. What kind of music are they?
They, I would say, are. I mean, they're not really noisy. There's a lot of melody and harmony in the stuff that they play, but they're very angular music. It's sort of for those who were able to listen to what we just did, kind of a sensible forebear to what we do. They were around in the 90s. They're from San Francisco, and yeah, they put out great records. A special shout out to the song. The Pistol and the Drain, I think, is a really good song.
Sick. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what have you guys been up to like in the last like couple years? Or not a couple years. I'd say I used to ask this question about like I guess like COVID times, which is why I say couple years, but I guess we can narrow it down. Like you guys just started your band and stuff recently. Like what have you guys been up to like before that and whatnot? Like
well, I work as a full-time model, so before that I was traveling a lot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then I just make music myself. That's really all I really do in my spare time. I just fuck around on my computer.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, what kind of music do you make, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, just do like computer like glitch, noise,
that's
field
sick.
Recording.
What do you like go by and under that name? And can you find it on like Bandcamp and stuff?
Oh yeah, I run like a little kind of started a micro label like
nice.
a month ago.
That's awesome.
So if you look up, you can go on SoundCloud and just look up Eric Sathram, or my label's called Lemon Cell, so you can look up Lemon Cell on Bandcamp or SoundCloud or whatever. It's like super. I just started. It's very, very small, and at the moment it's just me. But
yeah, dude, that's super cool though. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Sarah?
Well, for the last couple years,
I guess we could say like maybe like during COVID and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a couple years now.
Yeah.
You know, right before it all had happened, I had just started another band that had been sort of like scrounging for any little show that we could get, and then finally we were starting to get a lot of shows and play everywhere. And then we played the last show at the venue formerly known as the Hi-Hat.
Oh, damn, really?
On March 10th, 2020, yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's so funny. I remember that day, like, it was yesterday, you know, like, I remember, like, loading, like, double parked in this, like, Toyota Solara that is now totaled, and like and like I remember I wore this like really long cardigan and all this stuff, and yeah, it was just, and then obviously, you know, COVID happened, and that band did not make it past then. We were still very new. Our drummer decided to go back to Chicago, and the bassist and I decided to move back to different parts of the Bay Area. And then over the last few years, I was just really abusing my body and like not doing that much until about a year ago. And I was working on my sort of technical musical abilities a little more in sort of the more classical side of things, but I wasn't really, I don't know, I had no real like idea on what I was doing. And then, you know, like 9 or 10 months ago, Eric runs into my life, and then we started playing a couple months after that. And so yeah, we've been,
that's cool.
Yeah.
And so you've been playing for how long now as like Gorgeous Girls?
We started playing together
December
of last year.
That's cool.
Yeah, we started off just improvising, and it was great because that's one of my favorite things to do with musicians, especially drummers, because you know there's just so much energy, and you sort of get to see the other person for who they are. You know, it's great. And every other person that I'd played with up until that point, you know, they were half decent. Some were really good, but just not, you know, willing to fully go to a certain place or a certain duration of time that I'd like to occupy with just a single jam. And then Eric and I started playing, and you know, I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, you know, you always enjoy playing music, but I'm noticing myself like getting tired and sweating and all this stuff, and that was new. I was like, what's going on here? And like once we sort of like both come to a sort of veritable conclusion on like where to stop this jam, we both look at each other like, do you want to go smoke a cigarette? Like, and I look at the clock, and it's like an hour and a half, and I'm like, great,
that's crazy.
We're gonna be playing together for a while, I think. This is good.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's been a fun sort of 6 months on working on a lot of what you just heard.
So are your songs and stuff, I know you're saying that you guys were like improvising a lot, are your songs, is your music improvised, or do you have like songs that are like structured and stuff?
Probably like at this, like when we play live, I mean we have songs, but when we play live I want to say it's like 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean
maybe 60-40.
Yeah, I mean, the general... So to answer the first question, yes, we have songs. I mean, they're really compositions. You don't hear anybody say anything. But, not to be didactic, but...
songs need vocals.
Well, yeah, it's like a song is called a song because someone sings on it. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
These are floating pieces of music. But... I mean, the genesis of sort of the majority of what you just heard was like stuff I'd written out of improvisational stuff in the past, like some before I met Eric, some after I met Eric, and you know, there's a sense of structure to that, but the way it's interesting, we just sort of spent a month or two improvising a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so even with some really structured pieces of music that I know what all the parts are,
Mm-hmm.
the way we play and the way we interact off each other sort of lends itself to it being sort of constantly improvisational, even though we know where we're going.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's sort of how we go about things. And yeah, and I'd second what Eric said about the live part. When we play live, yeah, it's about, you know, somewhere between 60-40.
That's it.
Yeah.
60% put together songs, 40% improv.
Yes.
So I guess like how do you guys like go about like improvising? If you can like answer this, I don't know if this is like a good question or not, but like how do you go about like improvising? Like how do you guys do that? Like how do you bounce off of each other and stuff?
Well, I really like, well, I moved to Los Angeles because I was really into jazz and I wanted to like better myself.
Oh,
in
that's
the
cool.
Field where like improvisation is kind of the primary force driving music.
Nice.
The music.
So you come from like more of like a jazz background almost?
Kind of. I mean, like before that, I was like playing in like emo bands.
Oh, nice.
And rock and roll and all that jazz. But no, I came out here and then I like really tried to better my playing that way, be a lot more delicate rather than just pounding everything and having more dynamic range with my playing. And then I was just like playing retirement homes with like
sick
jazz combos.
That's honestly dope though.
I didn't know that.
The bass player, I can't remember his name. I played with this bass player for a while and he used to play with God, I can't remember his name. The dude who composed Route 66.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, and you would go into his room and there would be this big framed news article about him joining that guy's band.
Dude, that is wild.
You played for people who were dying? That's kind of really metal, honestly.
That honestly is kind of sick.
But they loved it, so...
Yeah, that's dope.
So I kind of learned just by ear, like improvisation is really just like communication through sound, and it's very physical, you know. I mean, like pretty much all of our set I'm staring at Saurav right in the eyes,
or
like,
at my right hand for how I'm strumming.
Yeah, for the rhythm too. You just kind of like, you know, you learn from experience.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, and I would agree with Eric too. I in terms of where I come from musical background, a lot of the ideas that sort of just happen to exist, and I can't explain why they do, I think has a lot to do with sort of the music I was taught when I was really little. I grew up in India, and I grew up as a sort of Indian classical vocal person for 10 years, and I hated that stuff. I hated it. It was...
So you were performing it, or you were just listening to it?
Performing it.
Oh, okay,
performing it and training in it and stuff.
Oh,
like
nice.
That.
Yeah.
And there was... It's all devotional music. I mean, the first piece that we played before we sort of went in, before Eric came in, basically, was...
for your guest mix or whatever. Right?
Oh, no.
For your set.
The
Yeah, your
first
set.
thing that I kind of
Okay.
strummed off on my guitar is an old song that is an old song that I got taught. It's like my jazzy sort of interpretation of it. But,
oh, wow, that's sick.
Yeah, but, you know, I hated that stuff growing up. But, you know, now after, you know, being like a decade and a half separated from that, I'm sort of able to realize that it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not on you, it's in you. You know what I mean? It's just there. And then after that, I was able to sort of walk away from that, which I was grateful for at the time, and started playing guitar. And once that happened, I initially went into sort of punk rock, you know, hardcore punk rock, noise rock, shoegaze, there's some doom metal there, and then I fell out of playing for a while because of sort of college, and I was sort of involved in another art form for a little bit. But I broke my fingers, and
oh man,
yeah, don't do it. Guitar players, please don't play basketball. You can watch it. I love basketball, but don't play it. It's bad for your fingers. And so I couldn't play for a while for different reasons, and I picked it back. I picked sort of playing. I picked up the guitar again after sort of 2-3 years of not really playing it, like 4 years ago. And I just felt really like I'd come back to where I was, and like very quickly, and I decided, well, like, I guess I might as well like start teaching myself like how to like really play certain styles of jazz that are like foreign to me. I mean, like, you know, you train yourself certain like vocal, sort of chordal intervals and like all those technical things, but I hadn't really like. For me, the guitar still was a very melodic instrument. It's just an instrument that generated some sort of melody or harmony. And when I made that decision, I concurrently also started to teach myself how to seriously play drums. Like, I could always play drums to like show somebody a beat, like, you know, the 10 times slower, like the lo-fi chill beats to study to version of a drum beat that I wanted like for a song. But I could never quite play it. So doing both those things, and specifically getting into like bossa nova as a guitar player and learning drums, it sort of opened up this whole new world of seeing the guitar as its own rhythmic instrument, where each string has its own sort of like relationship with the other one. And it became, you know, like growing up, going to school, I was good at math. I hated algebra or any of that stuff. Like, even now you can name me any 2-3 numbers and I can multiply you that in my head. I just see it, but I hated like all the high school pedagogical math. But that experience really opened me up to seeing this guitar as like a boundless instrument. I mean, I'm probably wrong, and there are people who say like, oh, it's such a severely limited instrument. It's just how I feel, you know. And it's like and so doing all that, you know, it sort of, in relation to improvisation, what it did is like I was able to bring like two worlds that may seem very in opposition with each other, you know, stuff like, you know, all the weird like left of field alternative, you know, whatever you want to call it, post the Sonics music and jazz, and bringing that together, it just gives me, it just gave me a sense of knowing that, yeah, I can play whatever I want. You know, not just from back in the day where I just played punk music, where I was like, I could play whatever I want. It was, no, I can, and because I've kind of learned a little bit of how to do that, and that's sort of how we apply ourselves to improvisation. Is just, it's having fun, really. And it's, you know, you spend a lot of time as a musician learning skills and building your technicality and all this stuff, but when it comes down to that, that's just play, you know. That's just, you know, it's almost like, again, basketball, don't do it, don't play it, but it's like basketball when you know, you have your shooting drills or whatever, like defensive drills and all that stuff. Improvisation is a lot like or you run plays to, like, you know, in practice sessions, but improvisation is just going out and playing, you know, the game, and you can do whatever you want. There are all these combinations of things you can come up with, and I love that about it.
That's cool. So we actually are like wrapping up here, but I guess just like real quickly, if you have like any advice for people that want to like just start playing music or anything, what would you tell people that are looking to start a band or start like improvising or something? I don't know. Like what would you tell people? Like real quickly. Just do. I feel like I hear a lot of people get wrapped up in like, oh, you know, I'm not well versed or educated in like theory or the history of music and other artists and influence, and I don't know how to like, I don't know what to do, you know, because just do. That's what's freeing about music, is that it's simply you do something and then it's out there and it's a piece of you, no matter what it is.
The only real piece of advice I can say to somebody or anybody is there's a sense of humble stubbornness that you have to adopt, where, you know, being a musician doesn't guarantee you a Grammy tomorrow, or wanting to be that doesn't guarantee you anything. But at the same time, you can't, you know, stop yourself from pursuing what your aspirations are. So just don't ever give up, no matter what, no matter how high, like even if you're like 29 going on 30 thinking like, I can't play guitar, just pick it up, do it. You might do something that's much better than I can do.
is 51.
Oh yeah,
that's insane actually. Wow, that's crazy.
51.
Yeah.
Or 52 now.
Oh yeah, and Bill Withers only got big when he was like 32. So.
Yeah.
Damn.
You got time, baby.
So I have one more question here. We got to get out of here in like 3 minutes. But the last question that I ask everybody on the show, if a rat is going to jump into your mouth, do you want this rat to jump into your mouth head first or butt first, and why?
Oh, wow. Butt first, so that the tail goes down my throat. And
you want the tail? Wow,
well,
never heard that one before.
Triggers my gag reflex, so I just immediately kind of
push that thing out.
Yeah,
dude, that is a really good answer that I've never heard out of like the 3 years I've been asking this question.
And as the second Gore Juice girl agrees with the first Gore Juice girl, because the butt coming in, you have a little bit of grace, so you can bite it, and
oh, yummy.
Yeah, and I'd like to taste the salinity in the blood of the rat.
Oh, dude, that was actually a really good answer too. Damn, you guys had really good answers. That was sick.
Yeah, man, we gotta, you know, as Gore Juice girls, we gotta taste the Gore Juices.
Yeah,
saline, blood, rat.
That's dope.
And all of that.
Yeah.
And so for anybody listening, this is TBD here on KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara, netnetradio.com out of Tijuana. We have Gorgeous Girls here. Where can people keep up with all of your stuff before we head out? Like if they're trying to catch some more Gorgeous Girls shows and stuff.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram at Gore Juice Girls. It's just one word. It's spelled Gore Juice, like G for Grant.
Yeah.
O-R-E for Emily, Juice, and Girls. We're playing a show on Wednesday at Venice at Dennis Hopper's house. We're just playing at some old actor's house. There's like an art show going up there. And yeah, we'll be. I guess this is a good enough time to say it. We're gonna be releasing something next week.
Oh, really? That's sick.
Yeah, we'll be putting a mini release of a couple of the tracks that you heard today on Bandcamp.
Dope.
And yeah, so if you wanna follow along for all of that, come through to Instagram, and you will not be disappointed by my graphic design skills.
Hell yeah. Well, anyways, thanks again for being on the show, guys. We coordinated this super last minute, and so it's super sick that they were able to come out here. Thanks again, guys. That was so much fun.
Thank you so much, Thomas.